Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we decode the money moves of big companies. Today, we are diving into GXO Logistics' latest report, and let me tell you, there is a new boss in town who sounds like he is ready for some serious operational upgrades. Alright, so GXO Logistics is a pretty big deal in the world of logistics that is basically moving goods around for other companies. Think of them as the behind-the-scenes wizards making sure your online orders and store shelves are stocked. They just filed a report, which is like a company's public diary, telling us what is happening. This particular report is called an 8K, and it's usually for reporting big, unexpected news. And the biggest news here is a significant leadership change. It looks like GXO is bringing in a new chief operating officer, and this guy, Bart Beeks, has a pretty impressive backstory. They are bringing him on board starting the 2nd of January 2026. So what does a chief operating officer do? Think of them as the person in charge of the day-to-day running of the company, making sure all the moving parts are working smoothly. And Bart Beeks sounds like he knows a thing or two about operations. He was previously the chief operating officer at Accession Logistics, a company you might have heard of. He worked his way up through the ranks there, from an intern all the way to the top operating job. That kind of progression usually means they know the business inside and out. The report really highlights his extensive experience managing operations in over 170 countries. That's a massive global footprint, and managing that kind of complexity requires a sharp mind and a lot of grit. He is credited with improving their operating margins, which means making more profit from their sales and growing their revenue. He also led the integration of multiple acquisitions, which is like merging different companies together, successfully a really tough job that needs careful planning and execution. And get this, before his career in logistics, he served as a commanding officer in the Dutch Special Forces. That's not your typical background for a logistics executive, but it certainly paints a picture of someone who is disciplined, can handle high pressure, and is adept at leading teams. It definitely adds an interesting flavor to his profile. Now, looking at his compensation, which is always a topic of interest, his new role as Chief Operating Officer at GXO will come with a base salary of $550,000. That's a solid salary, but it's not unusual for a top executive position like this. On top of that, he has a target annual bonus of 100% of his base salary. So if the company meets its goals, he could potentially earn another $550,000 in bonuses. That shows the company is really incentivizing him to hit those performance targets. Starting in 2026, he'll also be eligible for long-term equity awards, which are essentially company stocks. The target value for these awards will be no less than $750,000. This is a common way for companies to align the interests of their executives with those of shareholders. If the company does well, the stock price goes up, and the executive stock awards become more valuable. It is also worth noting that his principal place of employment will be the company's office in Eindhoven, Netherlands. This suggests a global strategy for GXO, perhaps to strengthen their European operations or leverage Mr. Beeks' experience more directly in that region. As with any executive hire, there are certain standard agreements in place. He'll be signing a confidential information protection agreement, which is pretty standard for executives to protect the company's sensitive information. The company also issued a press release on the 12th of December 2025, announcing these changes. This is common practice to inform the public and investors about significant developments like new executive hires. You can find that press release as an exhibit with this filing. So, what does this all mean? Bringing in someone with Bart Beeks' extensive operational background and proven track record, especially from a company like Accession Logistics, signals a strong intent from GXO to really hone in on operational efficiency and growth. His background, including his time in the military, suggests a focus on discipline, high performance, and strategic execution. The substantial bonus and long-term incentive package indicate the company's confidence in his ability to deliver significant results and their commitment to rewarding that success. From a shareholder's perspective, this is generally a positive sign. It shows the company is investing in experienced leadership to drive performance. However, the success of this appointment will ultimately depend on Mr. Beeks' ability to implement his strategies effectively within GXO's unique structure and market conditions. We'll be watching closely to see how these operational changes translate into financial results in the coming quarters. Alright, that is our breakdown of GXO Logistics' latest filing. What is your take on these leadership changes and what they signal for the company's future? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If this analysis was valuable, hitting that like button really helps. And subscribe for more deep dives. Don't forget to check out the Discord in the description. Thanks for watching. See you next time.